Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting session of Jay Does 3D Shenanigans. Wonderful to see you. Mr. Leo is here, Mr. Ricky is here, Miss Nancy's is here, and the bot is here, and hopefully lots of other people watching this on the pre-record. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching. It's day 4 of Jay's news title sequence preparation, and as such, we're going into iClone. As you can see here, this is the iClone, and also Miss Julia, wonderful to see you too. This is the iClone, and we're going to go and use that to clean up some animations that I've recorded with my Rokoko motion capture suit over the last weekend. I've done some idles and I've done some walks, and it's always a slight drama to get these things out and corrected and usable in Unreal Engine, and I haven't actually started on that process. I've checked them, most of them look okay, so I was thinking, you know, let's go do this together. So let me go boot up Rokoko here, also get some funky little tunes going. If I go and switch this on, there we go. I hope this is volume of that is okay. If it's too loud, if it's too quiet, if it's too whatever, do let me know. Sign in with browser, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do right now, isn't it? Duh. Does that, there we go, that's where that already worked. Nice one. I haven't signed into Rokoko Studio from this computer in a while. I've done it all on my laptop, so a laptop I used to capture this. And yeah, I don't have any video of this, Ricky, I'm afraid. But you can see basically what I've captured. The suit is essentially two parts. One is a pair of gloves that I put on. The gloves connect to the suit. Second is a suit I put on, or not in that order. I put the suit on first, then I put the gloves on, connect the gloves to the suit, and then the suit talks to the Wi-Fi network, and the Wi-Fi network then picks up what I do, move around, and then I click record on this software basically, and that then captures it. So mocap itself doesn't actually take that long. Most of it is sort of, you know, putting the suit on and finding out what you want to do and all that, and then you calibrate, and then you just hit record, and it's real time. And you could even do something like stream it real time into applications like Unreal Engine if you wanted to, or iClone. So you can do it in that whatever you're doing, gesticulating, walking around, whatever, gets recorded straight in Unreal Engine or in iClone. That is a good idea in principle, and VTubers do it that way, but the prep work that you got to do in order to make it look good is much harder. It's much more time consuming than this, which is basically hit record on the default skeleton, and then you put it on the character that you want to use it on, and then you find, oh, the shoulders look terrible, the fingers look crooked, and then you tidy all that up. Whereas with the live streaming, you have to sort of find a way to do that first and do it online, and then it'll look perfect. But I'm not at that point knowledge-wise yet, or time investment-wise either. So I'll do it from back to front. Let me go and grab this. This is this is what I've recorded. So the navigation here is a little bit pants because it's very unlike other applications. But I'm only concerned with taking this out of Rokoko Studio here. This is like one walk I wanted to do, and I'm going to take this little snippet and then go and loop it. That's the plan, and I did that twice. And then I do other walks, so I've done like 10 or so in total. And let's see if we can. The easiest I found was to just export this into iClone and deal with all the rest in iClone. I think I might do that. So these are walks. I think they look sort of cool. And there is a way to set yourself a start and an end, but I might go and do all of that in iClone. So let's say I wanted to export the whole thing out. I think I just say export iClone. I might as well do 60 frames because that's what iClone likes. Include reference pose, yes. Extract root motion, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know really. This worked last time, so I'm not going to touch it. Export mesh as scene root. Use constant key reducer, always good. Include in between blend shapes. No, we don't want to do that. let's just do that. Let's make sure we find it again in a moment. Where are we going to put that? Where are we going to put that? Maybe in our actual project folder. Let's dump it all in there. Then it's all backed up to Dropbox. I like it. If only I remember where that was. It was in here, wasn't it? Jay's project. Cinema titles 2026. Yes. Exports. And we'll just make a new folder and call it Rokoko. That's where it'll all go. Copy that just in case we need that. Yes, put that in here. Oh, gotcha. So we gotta click this and then we can pick it. I get you. Oh, the chaos will happen. I'm sure the chaos will happen. Export this and we'll see how it goes. Do you know, we've only just started, Brian, so far so good. Shenanigans is probably going to happen like starting the moment we go into iClone. As you can imagine. And then the crazy cleanup session is going to start and see if we can get this going on one of the characters that we've imported last time, or maybe other characters, ideally. It'll all be good. I've done this before, trust me. How are you, Brian? How's your week holding up? The start of the week. Really enjoyed the Stray session. I'm glad you hung in there. I really appreciate that you did that. There's a difficult bit in Stray where tons of Zergs go and kill you, and that can lead to frustrations. I totally understand and agree. There we go, we've done it. We'll leave Rokoko Studio open for the other walks and we'll see how iClone fares here. Ideally, we're going to import, I think. Then we just do this. Walks v7 iClone, I like it. Import, and it'll say keep original, let's do that. And it'll also ask us what's the T-pose skeleton for that. And thankfully Rokoko Studio embeds this in the file. I think we just have to tell it to use the same file again, and then hopefully it'll work. Ah, look at that. So we didn't even have to, that's interesting. It wasn't even asking that anymore. Maybe that's been improved. So here's our animation. Oh yeah, so you could see on the beginning that was the T-pose facing properly. So we're gonna have to do all kinds of tidy up work here. So this works. That's good. That's good. Let me go and save this out first of all in my custom thing, so I can always go back to this and then I'll save snippets of what I want to loop, and then we'll marry that up with a character and send the whole thing over to what's it called here, Unreal Engine. Willie is here on the Twitch. How you doing, Willie? Good to see you. Yes, I haven't been on Twitch for ages. I thought I'll start multi-streaming a little bit, get my feet wet, see how it all goes. How you doing? Yes, long time no see. It's been ages. I'm going to do this as a project here. Projects. Dropbox content. That sounds good. Should we go to IC project? Maybe make a subfolder and call this here Rokoko Cinema Titles. Rokoko Cinema Titles. Save the whole thing as a project. Walks v7, and then we can snip around as we so desire. So let's say this is where we start. What was the shortcut key to make a cut in here again? I don't recall. Break normal. Let's do that. Maybe there wasn't a shortcut. That is possible. And I'm just going to use the walk forward, because the one backwards is sort of just the same style. Yeah, to about here. Let's do that. Break normal. Yeah, this is where the this is where the other guy would be. Might as well pre-break them all and then just save me some work loading things in and whatnot. We'll keep this as a safety here. And then it'll be looped. Yeah, I don't think there is a shortcut. And this is a different walk, so this is like a sort of an elderly gentleman walk. You just use the icon. Which one was the icon? This one here, possibly. Yes, that's the icon, isn't it? Right. Control B. There we go. Control B is the shortcut. All right. Yeah, these icons, I gotta be brutally honest. In anything that they do, Reallusion, the icons are like Chinese to me. None of it makes that much sense. Oh, look at that. And it's also broken off. I don't know if you can see that here. It's broken off my clip at 1800. That's where the import basically stopped, because all projects end there for some reason. It's probably okay for what I'm doing here, but I would like to see what the other walks were. So there's 1, there's 2, see I had others, 3, 4, yeah, so I'm going to do the import again, because it's just cut this right off, hasn't it? Oh, Willie sold his house? My goodness! No way! Where are you moving to, Willie? Is it in the neighborhood? Are you staying in Belgium, or are you moving elsewhere? Oh, you think the data is there? So you're just saying, Brian reckons I should just go to something like project settings and say, just add a 9 to this. Yes, the data is here. All right. We've not been cheated out of data. Here it is. Wonderful, Brian. Thank you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, they do like making it as unintuitive as humanly possible, don't they? I find. So Control B reckons it's just a normal break, a non-destructive break, which I don't really need. I don't know if that has any implications, but I do like Control B. Control B it is. This goes, and that's the backwards walk. I'll stop that here. That's a more chirpy walk. And then from here we go to sort of here. And see how well this can be looped. Okay, you stay in Belgium. From Ostend to East Camp. Okay, nice one. Only 30 minutes or 30 or so kilometers away. Not bad. I had no idea, Willie. Those things are always really adventurous. How long have you been in your old property? I'm asking because moves, regardless if into a smaller or larger property, are always a really good opportunity to declutter tons of stuff. And that box you haven't looked at for 5 years, maybe you don't need to take that with you, because I guess you're not missing what's in there. At least that's always what what it's like for me. If I lived somewhere 10 years, it's unbelievable the amount of stuff us humans hoard over time, because hey, this could be important, you know. I think towards the end of this take, the suit alignment, the calibration goes a little bit out of whack. So we'll see how clean these things are at the end. Oh wow, you've been in Ostend for 30 years. Wow, that's been a while then. Well, let's go and save this, basically oversave this, because that's all good then. Let's oversave this. And now I can always go back to this and take out my little animations here, save them as little compartments. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think you can just save out a snippet once you've cleaned it up. But I really don't know if that is all good or not, but I'll just do it the way I know it sort of works. So let's do that first. And then let's see if we can turn this into a loopable affair. Oh, was there a way to show the floor? You iClone people, you know more about iClone than I do. How do I do that again? I'm sure there's a way to show the floor. Then we get the grid. I don't think I have to load anything in. There's just a way to do that. Could be a project setting thing. There's auxiliary light. There's dummy object. That's probably not it. Background color. Could be under modify. Program settings. I thought there was. Show grid. There we go. Haha. Nice one. That is good. So yeah, that's the other thing. I want to make sure that the guy actually walks forward. So right now, the person isn't aligned in the center. So I think I'd like to do that and turn him around. But of course, I've sort of forgotten how to really do that. Yes, and he's not walking in a straight line. So I suppose that's the first alignment we're going to make, so that he goes towards this axis here. Let's try that. I think that you'd think would happen with edit motion layer, but we don't have that because this is not a Reallusion character. So maybe what I'll try instead is save this out as a snippet here and apply it to a Reallusion character. Let's try that. So walks v7a. Let's do that. Delete and bring in just some character. Perhaps my man, business guy here. Let's work with him. Oh, I see. So this is his forward axis. He would go the y-axis. Let's retain that then. So if I load... Oh, I didn't save it as animation, did I? Ah, dang. Oh, that's bad. Okay, business guy, wait just 1 second. We'll come back right back to you. I've forgotten to save this as animation. So motion animation, just in motion here. Let's call this Rokoko breakouts, and I think, does it work just saving that? It's a prop. We don't want to do a prop. It's an animation, man. Motion plus or motion? I'm just thinking it's motion, but I can't really select that. Let's say motion plus. Whatever, maybe it's because it has a face in it. I don't really know why he wants me to save a prop. It was not like that last time. I tell you. And it doesn't show up as, oh, it does show up as, oh, that's good stuff. Okay, businessman comes back. You can go. You cannot apply motion. Gotcha. Okay. Well then I don't know. That's, I thought, how I did it last time. Unless I applied the animation to a character directly. I don't think I did. Pretty sure this is how I did it. The world direction of the animation probably doesn't matter as long as it's aligned with its own local coordinates. Yes, and it's also something you can correct. I think the bigger issue is now that I don't recall how to put this into, how to import an animation onto this guy. Let me try something else. Let me go and say import, convert external motion. Let's see if I go and import this whole thing onto this character. Right, here's the dialogue I was looking for. That's sort of what I was looking for. Keep original. I don't think it's Mixamo what's it character. I mean, that's what it detected. But technically it's a Rokoko character. So I might try Rokoko before going to anything crazy here. Oh, maybe I didn't do collect clip. Right. Thank you, Brian. I might try that in a second. Let's see if this works. In an ideal world, it might just go and retarget directly to the character. That's not going to look good, so there's a lot of cleanup I have to do. But in an ideal world, it may or may not. It's not working. Good stuff. So that's already it's already pretty cool. I thought, why would it work, right? That'd be too cool. Okay, let me try this again. This guy, and then go and do this and say collect clip, which is always ultra awkward to do, isn't it? And then you say save motion plus. We could try that. Ideally to where I've literally just put it. Or that's the plan. It comes up with the same dialogue that I don't know anything about. It is an FBX file, yes. It is an FBX file. We can try that too. I do recall last time this was much easier, but isn't it always? Yeah, like now it's not even in the library. It's just welcome to Clunkville. Drag this onto here. Cannot apply motion. Okay, so that's the same. Let me go and do that, what you've suggested, Brian. I'll go and drag the original motion onto him. See if that works. It says Mixamo character. I'm going to keep the T-pose as the file that we've just had. That's sort of the same that I've done from the content library. It's always good to keep these things documented or recorded the moment they work. Unfortunately, I haven't done that last time. This is promising because that was the first field of the character, and there's animation. So why did that work and not when I dragged it in from the content library? Answers on a postcard. So all the breaking out thing, I'm just gonna have to do again, right? I suppose. Reasons, of course. Of course, there's reasons. Well, let's just go do it again. In fact, before we do anything, let me just go and save this as the thing we actually wanted to save. Yes, save that as basically that. Walks v7. Yes, replace, because the previous one was... No, when I dragged over the animation, so basically I did the... I dragged it over from here, I think, from the animation folder instead of the Explorer, which is of course something totally different to iClone. It's all carefully designed. You buy software that you can then not actually ever use. It's important. You just keep buying new stuff and not ever use it. That's what I feel like. Because it's just agony 24/7 with these programs. It's like they have a meeting and they make sure, oh yeah, no, we're going to put this feature in so that it's definitely not compatible with what you're doing. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Because we can't possibly have anything compatible. Must not let customer get any use out of the stuff that they pay for. Super important. Don't worry, Brian, don't worry. It's all good. I'm just having an old man rant. Because, you know, it's always the same story. This is awesome. Buy this, man. You buy this. Oh, it doesn't work, does it? Oh, we'll fix that in update. Will you, though? Or will you not? Or will it ever not work? Anyway. Jonas, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that, man. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm angrily ranting. I didn't mean to do that. So each little snippet, ideally, not so much the backwards ones, but all the forwards ones, I'd like to save as an individual animation so that I can go and reuse it. And also ideally even loop in iClone, like pre-loop, and then transfer them to Unreal Engine as just one snippet that I can reuse. So the shots aren't going to be longer than 4 to 5 seconds. So I won't need more than that. Let's see if it works. There's so many ways of looping animations like this. Rokoko themselves even have their own version of it, but it's part of a sort of a beta Rokoko Studio, and that currently only has one export format that is not compatible with anything anyone ever uses. And Maya, so not for me, basically. It is, isn't it? Brian, I totally agree. It is important to vent every once in a while because, you know... Yes, Ricky, God forbid you can make stuff with a different software. Must stay in our software. Super important. Okay, well, this is a good start. And it's on a Reallusion character. And it looks like we don't need to do that much cleanup. Fingers a little bit, but it's already pretty usable. I mean, just a tiny bit of a... Don't want his hand to drag into the body, and I think the shoulder slightly further forward, but that's a really easy fix. So let's go and save it. Might as well oversave it because it's better than the previous version. And then let's do a bit of tidy up. So this is going to happen, I think, on a per walk basis. and probably also on a per character basis. But if we start with the first walk, I'll go and delete all the others, put this over here. Come on. Yes. Make that bigger here. Nice one. So now, should I have the edit motion layer thing? I do have edit motion layer. All right. Now things are possible. This is good. So shoulders just a tad forward. And just out a little, right? I think I can live with that. First animation, my God. I didn't have to do any sort of major frickle work. Even the fingers look okay. That is not bad. And our guy can now hopefully walk a long stretch in the in Amsterdam. That's not bad, is it? Oh my God. I'm excited. I walk around in my living room and the next thing you know, I'm walking around in Unreal Engine. That is pretty cool, isn't it? It was a little hit and miss there in the beginning. So, if this works out, I think I want to save this out as a ready-made animation. Let me try that. How do I even do that? I thought, my instinct tells me, I like to save it to my motion library here, right? Rokoko breakouts. Can I just hit save here now? Is that how it works? Motion animation, that's perfect. So it'll be walks v7a, right? Or we right click on the, let's try both. Let's try both. If I do this, it ends up in the library here. If I do that and say save as motion, it gives me this. So ideally, I'm going to pick the same location as here so that it's accessible from the library, right? Which God knows where that is now. Let me see if I can find it. Is that something you can say reveal in Finder, something along those lines? Find file, perhaps? Yes. Find file is here. Also, I've misspelled breakouts, didn't I? Let me say breakouts. There we go. Breakouts. So just as a test, because I don't really know which one's the better way, save motion. And I'll go and pick the same thing from here. Yeah, that's the same directory. Test from collect clip, because I want to know if there's a difference. So it looks like it's picked the same thumbnail, so that's that's good. I'm going to save it also as a full project here, that we can always go back to this. Walks v7a. Yes, replace, because the previous one was trash. And now, because we can always load it in again, why don't we start with a new project, pick a character here. I can pick the same character and then apply either clip and see how it goes. Buttons and animation, like here. Yes. So Flonk, this is the one I've saved through the content library, and it comes in just as we had expected, with motion, with correction, with it all. So that is good. That is good. That is good. Let's pretend we never did that and drag in the other one. If it's exactly the same, then at least we know. It looks like it is. So it's just put it into wherever the playhead was. It looks like it's exactly the same. It's good to know, actually. This is good to know. And we also, that means we have an option, because sometimes you don't want to put it into the library. Sometimes you want to put it into an arbitrary location, desktop or whatnot. This is nice. So yes, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. Good to know. So now something else I've forgotten, really. If I go back to this one here, double clicking is the same as left clicking, dragging it on, right? Yes, perfect. So if I wanted to elongate this now, I could do two things, because he starts without it being a loop already. I suppose I can just go and drag this on again. That is like loading the second animation again. And now I can see if I time it so that, so this is him right foot down, left foot sort of angled on. Let's say that's the end of it, buddy. End of it, indeed. And then here we need to have the same thing. So he needs to have right foot down, left foot sort of angled up like this. And with a bit of bidirectional blending, this may or may not work. It looks like it doesn't work. That is a shame. But I do also recall that there is a way to tell iClone about it, that you gotta say, I don't know if it was iClone, if it was Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine, you say to the second clip, look at this bone from the first clip. So if this doesn't work out in iClone, I'm going to do it in Unreal Engine, because I know how to handle it there. But it would be nice to just be able to do this all in iClone. Drunken Stumble is a go. Ascania, welcome. How you doing, buddy? I'm trying, without any further knowledge, to make a walk animation loop out of a mocap animation. A line, yes, that seems familiar. A line, and we want to do right, it's almost right toe, isn't it? Because right foot is at the back. Right foot might also work. I'm almost thinking we may have to strip out the root motion here, or the blending. Let me take the blending out, just because that might confuse things. It's a positional thing, isn't it? Do you know, there's something else I remember, and it has to do with the root motion, on which bone that resides. I don't know where that is here, but I do remember there is a thing, root motion, sample, root to hip. If we just try that, on both clips, of course, root motion, sample, root to hip. This might go horribly wrong, but this might also be the solution to our problems. Of course it isn't. There is an option to have it automatically reset the root motion, but only God knows whether that is. Gotcha, yes. Could be a line hole clip. That might be something. A line hole clip to the right foot. That almost worked. No, I want to continue the forward motion. So up until here, this is all good. No foot sliding. I like that. I just need him to now walk again. I mean, it might be that we're trying to do something that's actually much easier than what I'm trying to do. It could well be that we just go and drag this out as a loop. Like so. It could be that that's does this completely automatic. No, see? Dang. Which is why I thought just queuing up a second clip and trying it that way might work better. But God only knows how that's supposed to work. Yeah, so in Unreal Engine you do something very similar, and you just you align it almost, put the clips together, you can blend them together if you like, and then you say, look at this foot. But I don't know what this root motion thing, what the implication is, how Rokoko handles that. Smooth, flatten, break. Align to motion layer. And align whole clip. What happens if we try root? Root doesn't do it either. I could strip out the forward motion. Were the devs drunk? Who knows that either? I'm sure it's all perfectly logical, buried in this. Oh, there we go. Remove motion. That's something else we can try. So we just leave him in place, and then we just add forward motion ourselves. It's a shame because it already has forward motion. So I mean, there's something else we can try, and that is I might need your help on this one, Brian. There was a way to change the timeline into displaying the actual seconds, because I mean, I could do it in my head. At 60 frames a second, 300 frames is 5 seconds, so I don't think we have shots that are longer than that. And if we do, we can just go make them a little slower. So, you know, it could be because the characters didn't have root motion, or the motion was elsewhere. That is possible. Let me just go and load in the original animation, because that's the one we haven't messed with. I haven't messed with. And let me just go and put that over into Unreal Engine, see if it even works in principle. That'd be nice to know. And then we can decide where the better way to handle the looping thing is. Yes. So many unknown things. Yeah, Brian is the wizard. Brian has had iClone for many years longer than I have, and he's actually used it much longer than I have as well. I basically bought it, thought, yeah, it has cool features, and every time I tried to extract some goodness out of it, there was some insaneness that gets in the way. So I've got this love-hate relationship with Reolution products. Great in principle, great ideas. Not so good when it comes to, you know, making intuitive features. Good documentation though, and good sizzle reels as well. Last time, if you recall, I exported the characters from Character Creator because iClone didn't want to talk to Unreal Engine. It'd be interesting to see what happens today. Which is why Brian and I make such a good team. That is why. Yeah, with the Rokoko thing, you can also bring the animation directly into iClone, but then you don't have the benefits of being able to add something like what we could do with iClone. It's this quick adjustment for the shoulders. That's really magical. That's really good. And also the way they have the very convenient layered animations in there. So those are amazing features to have. They have a ton of mocap cleanup tools as well that I don't understand. Honestly, there's amazing filters apparently that I have zero idea how to apply or where to even get, but apparently it's all in there. So yeah, going directly to Unreal Engine, it's got pros and cons. I mean, you can do everything in Unreal Engine, but Unreal Engine isn't necessarily elegant when it comes to many things. Here, let me go and make a new level. In fact, save this level. And I'll call this one iClone imports. And then we can see, so that plugin is in here. In an ideal world, we haven't actually sent this character over here. So if I go to say, this is the end of the animation, Unreal Live link, we want to include the motion and not the prop and not anything else, just the range, 0 to 373. So last time it just said iClone isn't listening or something. See if that works. Yep, same thing. Invalid operation. Please wait for the Unreal Engine to complete a prior transfer, which has actually happened. It's just not really working. So I don't know what this is all about. So we may have to just do a manual export here, which is a shame, but you can do it. It's back in the day, it used to be a one-click transfer. But of course, you know, it's important to make some changes randomly every once in a while. Now this we could try characters here. What's my man's name? Business M04. Henceforth known as M04. That should be good. UE5 skeleton. Oh, that is another thing. Let's try that out. Let's try that out. Auto motion alignment. I do remember that. I'm totally going to try that out because I remember that takes into consideration when you apply the next animation what the previous animation did. That's a good call. Let me see if I can find that. Align motion and direction. Yes. That wasn't it. Good call though. Very good call. Character. So this one is Business M04. And this one was in oh no, it was in characters, wasn't it? Yes, it says characters, Business 04. Character, do not include controlling, but yes, do everything else. I have a feeling it has something to do with the included forward motion, because we don't really know. Import animations, yes. Import it all. Because we don't know where the root motion is, so where the forward motion is. The forward motion could be on the top node, and then the hip is underneath it, and the hip doesn't have the motion. So the top node has the motion, or the hip has the motion, or the pelvis has the motion. We don't know. So it's something that I'm gonna have to go and look into and open this in Blender or something and literally have a look which bone has that animation on it. technically a good thought, Ricky, but the problem is that then that's good for in-game animations. If you need something like a state machine, then you want your character to not have forward motion. But on cinematics, you usually do, because that means there's no foot sliding. If you have the character walking in place and then you move him forward, there's always this foot sliding, and you have to then just time it out, and it's always a botch job. And if you have already forward motion that's locked in with the floor, then you can be sure there's no foot sliding. And you usually want to retain that, and that usually also does work. So if you have something like canned animation from iClone, then you can do it. So when you get something from their catalog, you can usually apply it 3-4 times, and or just even loop it, and then it just goes, the character keeps walking. But in my homemade schlons, of course it doesn't work, so why would it? Why would it? You don't spend $6,000 on a mocap suit and then it works, right? You can't have that. That's where would be the fun in that? Yes, so that's my life, basically. And if Unreal Engine also can't do it, we may have to go down that route and recreate the forward motion and strip out the one that comes with it. But I find it's just such a botched job, and I'd rather, I'd rather there be documentation that tells you how to do it. That would be really good, But that is also not the case. They give you all these puzzle pieces and then let you work it out by yourself. And then they wonder why they get bad reviews. But hey, that's one of those, things. Yeah, while this is doing this, isn't there a way in iClone to get the curve editor up? That might be able to tell us where the motion is. It would be too easy. Yes, exactly, Ricky. It would be too easy. I know it has a graph editor, but where? It's probably one of these super cryptic icons. Oh, that does that. That's not what we want. Could be a window thing. Curve editor, that could be it. Yes, look at that. Brilliant. That's the kind of insanity we want to see. So on the hip position, I don't see anything really. You'd imagine there should be curves now, right? But of course there's no curves. You may have to go and select the things you want to have displayed at curves. But if none of it displays any curves, then I suppose maybe it's not working. Maybe you have to. I remember in iClone 7 you had to actually buy this as a plugin. Oh, layer keys? No, we don't want to do this. Actually, the transformation, that's it. Path offset, no, it's actually not showing me at all what I want to see. So another feature I don't know how to use, so let's not use it. That's my idea as well. That would be the way to go. Have a normalized button to make the curves show up, but if nothing shows up, there's just nothing. Now let's see, this is the motion here. So that came in with my character, which is good. It looks like the animation is much longer than I wanted it to be, so I'll go and make sure that remove frames 11,000 to 57,000. Wait for that to finish. Perfect. And now we'll see how this is loopable. So we can just drag the whole animation thing in. That'll make a character. Allegedly, eventually. There we go. And then if we... do we have a sequencer we can utilize? No, let's make one. See how that goes. I think we were on 60 frames a second. Pop my man in here, and he does sound a little bizarre. Oops, sorry buddy. So this works. That's good. Now if I go and copy this and just do a little bit of blending. I mean, I guess I actually got to do the cleanup here as well. Oops. Why is he disappearing? He seems to disappear as I get closer to him. That shouldn't happen either. But hey, it's all magic. So right foot down, left one in the air. Right foot down, left foot in the air. Like so, and then we have the same thing, okay. And then we tell Unreal Engine, I think in properties, was it properties? No, match this bone in previous clip with right foot. If it's the same as an iClone, then I really don't know how to solve it. I think we can just go and search for foot in here, in this insane list, foot arm. Yeah, so Unreal Engine almost does it, but it's almost, and it's not really something we can use. But rock solid feet, so I do like that. I can try it again, Brian. I could totally try it again. Let's try it again. In fact, by just going, I'll go and take this thing out completely. And I go and put it back on here, right? Once. And should I just go and import it again? Don't extend before overlapping. Gotcha. But I do have to still trim them, right? I mean, I can try to put this on here now. And my man doesn't really keep walking. He snaps back to the beginning here. But as I say, align whole clip to right foot. It sort of tries to do it properly. It's almost like the alignment to the foot isn't working. What if I go and align just this rather than the whole clip? And it also doesn't work. Just align not correctly. Let me just go and take this away and put you back here. And then we do this, and then we say align, and say right foot. So if that had been the correct position, that's sort of pretty close, isn't it? Let me go and save out a clip that actually goes on that position. I'll go and save out a version that that I know is actually going to line up, because right now I basically know my my clip doesn't line up. That's sort of probably also an issue here, I think. Like a proper loop, like where he says, like from here. That's not something I did before. And that should be close enough here. Was this? Yes. And then we go say collect clip. I don't know how you do the collect clip so that it's frame accurate. Or maybe like this. Maybe like this. And I'll just call this one loop test. I should have said loop test 1. Let's try it. Loop test. And if we go and just drag this onto here. And then we say align right. That's the idea. Align right foot. Could it be? Could it be? It works, right? And the kink we can oh sorry. And the kink we can work out with the blend. It works, Brian. It totally works. So just overlap them a little bit, like so, like I would do in Unreal Engine, and that gets that that little snap forward. Let me just try how it goes if we just do this bidirectional blending here. Like that goes into here, and that goes into here. So therefore the speed stays the same. That is pretty goddamn cool, isn't it? Now I can make my man walk like forever. That is pretty neat, isn't it? That is pretty neat. Is that cool or what? So if we do this one more time, and do exactly the same stuff. Move this here. That snaps back. But now we go and say align with right foot. And then we make sure we follow character guy here. And then he does that. But in principle, and feet look super cool already. And then we just go bidirectional blending. That over here, that over here. And if that's not enough, you do more. That is seriously cool. That is seriously cool, isn't it? And now we have a really long clip we can send over. Whew. There was much rejoicing. So just to recap then the whole thing, because this was quite dramatic. We exported something from Rokoko then snipped it up into little pieces that we then save as animation. At this point, I could already incorporate the loop, I guess. Then I load that clip again, make sure I align it to the correct foot, bidirectional blending, and we have a longer walk loop. Oh my god, this is exciting. This is so exciting. I'm so glad you could witness this. I'm so glad it's on tape. When in 2 weeks I don't remember how to do it. This was it. This is very neat. So let me ask you something else. If I wanted to make that a fourth loop, can I just go and copy this out? Let's copy this, paste that here. And is the bidirectional blending then already in there? Almost, it just needs to have that alignment set again, I guess. Yes, so copy paste, even copy paste works. That is pretty neat. And we don't need any more of that here. Make that a tad longer. I'm just so excited about this. You're right. And of course, so 1200 frames is enough as an animation. This gives me enough time to then mess around in Unreal Engine and all that. So let me go and save that as well as animation. Man, that's not collect clip, is it? Collect clip is here. Collect clip. So this is walks v7 ax4. ax4, perfect. And then we'll go. I don't know why the Unreal Engine export doesn't work. Because link is something else. We don't need link. I could use that, but it's not necessary. Wasn't necessary in the past. Let me see if this works. Just transfer file. Does that work? No, doesn't work. Okay, no worries. We'll just do it manually. Export. In this case, we just say we just want the animation, don't we? And we do that exactly like this. Actually, we just do the same thing. And in Unreal Engine, we just say something like a different walk v7 ax4. Well, I'll just call it loop. That might be easier. In Unreal Engine, I'll just tell it the skeleton it needs to use. Yes, that is true. That is true. Never to show the feet. But then we have a lot of wide shots. So what insane stuff is it doing there? And why does it always look at 1800 frames here, where I'm clearly just exporting the range? Do you know exactly what I just said, Leo? Exactly right, yes. Okay, let's see if we can import it into here. Yeah, this loop. So I'll just say this is a loop, and I'll say that. And all I need to know is what is his skeleton. Probably something 04, like M04, something like that. There we go, that's his skeleton. And this means it's not gonna import a skeletal mesh, I don't think. Let's try. Ideally, it should just bring in the animation now, And it should just work on this guy. Slipping and sliding is a given in winter. Yeah, I can see that. So we have to do this 50 more times, this process. So I hope we're all making notes here. But also, I've seen this before. I don't know why iClone exports 60 trillion frames when I really only have 1200 selected. I don't know why it's doing all this. It did this on the previous animation. I had to basically cut it in Unreal Engine. I don't know why. Repetition is one way to learn it. You're so right, Leo. Yes, absolutely. That is so true. Yeah, it's a real shame that the automation doesn't work anymore. It used to work, and it was a one-click thing, and it was really neat, especially here for animations. You just select motion, click a button, it just goes and figures out what the skeleton is, and it just works. So it's a shame that that broke. So it's also a shame that it exports 90% more animation than we actually ever need. So, because that's what takes the time. If it would only export what we need, it'll be done in 10 seconds. But because it doesn't, it exports like 4 minutes worth of animation, which is just insane. Well, while it's doodling, maybe we'll go ahead and try other animations on a different character. How's that? Do we want to save this project as well? Just as a project, just in case I need it. So V7 loop, I'll just call it. And then we can go and make a new project. Pick a different character. Maybe elderly guy. Him here in the shorts. Let's do that. So ideally, I drag one of my other animations onto him and it should just work, right? That's the idea. I don't actually have anything broken out just yet. So I'll just drag the whole thing on him. And no, that's there. That's not what I wanted. Odin takes a vacation, yes. This is the same animation. How do we... Oh, I need to go back to my... I need to break these out first, right? I just need to make these snippets. I mean, the good thing is he's already... Different characters already working with the same animation, so that's what I would expect. Walks V7. Let's go and load that, and then just break out these snippets here. Yeah, you'd think selecting the range and then clicking range would do that, but I guess not the case. That's the whole point of it, isn't it? That I say... I do this here, select that clip, that's the range. You'd imagine this being the range, but if I say export, and I then say range, this is what would get exported, but no, it exports 50,000 frames. So thank you, iClone. Wonderful. And the import has not worked the way I wanted it, of course, because that would be too easy. It's brought me in the same character again, so that's also not what I wanted at all. Let me try this one more time here in Unreal Engine, because that is not what we wanted. Yeah, that is completely not what I wanted. does it work though. Here it is. That is our looped animation. My guy keeps walking, and then here we have the stuff at the end that nobody wanted. But there's got to be an easy way to export this out. Remove these frames here. Yes, of course you have to. It's a subscription, isn't it? You have to pay the range. It's the range one. So this one is just the same animation the other way. So we can remove that. And this is one. That's the next one. And this is the other one that we don't necessarily need. These are sort of smaller ones, shorter ones. Not this one. We're going to keep this one. And not that one. This one. Buddy, don't do that. And then... now I'm confused, of course. That, and then this. Yeah, we don't want this. This we want to keep. And not that. And then this we want to keep. And not that. Perfect. Okay. So if we stick maybe with the right foot, I sort of like the idea of what we did there. Right foot, we do that. And we see how many we have. Right foot, and then can we do one more? And one more isn't in here, so it'll be something like that. There. Absolutely, yes, Brian. Good thinking, good thinking. So in this case, if I just wanted to save this one here, I do my range, right? Am I doing this correctly? Then I go and say collect clip here. And then I go save this as animation, right? I'm thinking. So this is now V7B, I'm thinking. V7B. It's the idea, right? And if I do that, only this bit will be saved out, right? Nothing else. Is that correct? It's hard to say, isn't it? Let's test it out. If we go to sort of here and I apply that to him, I should only see one block. Yes, I do. Okay, gotcha. That's good. That is good. That is good because that means I can take this out. This is then C here. This one is, I think, better for the left foot because it's a shorter block. So left foot. And that isn't quite there. So this. That would be easy. Sometimes that actually comes out even if you didn't want to record that because of suit misalignments. So the way these sensors work is that they're extremely they're prone to misalignments when there's lots of metal objects around. And where I did it, I was basically walking between a washing machine and a dishwasher and lots of, like a kitchen thing. That was the longest thing I had, and it really got it confused after 2 minutes. So sometimes my right leg would sort of be twisted 40-50 degrees, and that really wasn't pretty. It's just because the sensor just gets confused. Walks V7C. But yes, you can do all those types of things. This is D. That might be another candidate for the left foot. Collect clip. Walks V7D. And we have E. And that is so many, I'm thinking this might be good on the right foot again. Or the left. Let's do the right. Right, so right is here. I'm so glad we figured this out. Collect clip, and that was an E. Walks V7E. My God. Yes, I did so many, and I thought what it's really inspired by Cyberpunk, because they have, if you look at their walk animations, they have so many different character types. They've got the heavy guy, and then the heavy guy with arms crossed, and then they've got these people leaning forward, really aggressively walking forward, and they've got the pretty ones and the depressed and the elderly ones. So there's lots of inspiration in Cyberpunk. Mr. Nate, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. So after that, let's go and pick 4 more characters then that can do these walks. Like elderly guy here, he's already, we're going to use him next, I'm thinking, for B. Oops. That is here, B, so we go put that on here, and that was a right foot aligned thing. And now we do the same thing, right? B goes on. I could have just probably copied it as well. And now we say align right foot, right? And that more or less works. All we need to do, sorry, I was distracted by the music because the music had lyrics. Bi-directional blending. And the only thing we may have to do, which we haven't done on him at all, is just align the shoulders and the hands going through the body. So we'll do that once we've done the loop, because it'll be a global thing overall. My God, it is, could it really be that easy? I love it. You're still coughing. What's going down, Nate? It's not allowed. Did you tell him it's just not allowed? Might do 5 in this case. So it's almost 1800 frames. We might as well do that because it wants to export that at all times, so we're good with that. This and that. No, that's not right, is it? I always forget, the bidirectional blending is at the top or the bottom little triangles. I think it's the bottom ones. Yes, bottom. Oops. I totally forgot to say align right foot. Maybe duplicating doesn't work. I think it has to do with the fact that when it applies this animation from the library, the setting gets taken into consideration that Brian was saying earlier, where it says auto motion alignment. This happens when you load the animation, not when you copy paste it. I do remember that. They do that to confuse you. Line right foot. It's like magic, man. It's very cool. You have demanded they leave, and he continues wanting to live in my lungs rent-free. That's just unacceptable. Yes, do that. You got to be tough with these people, you know, living rent-free in your lungs. I mean, seriously. It's uncool. Uncool and unforgivable. It doesn't even matter if there's a frame in there, because it's just one frame at 60 frames a second. Nobody cares. It's good. I like it. Okay, so all of these, do that, do this. It would probably be clever to put the loops into a different folder here, right? I'm thinking to make something like loops. And in here we can go and keep it a bit more compartmentalized. Walks v7b looped. It is a little janky, isn't it? It's fine. It's just knowing what to do and then just keep doing that. Yes, it's not. It doesn't make it exactly easy. You'd think, well, can't I just copy paste? But I don't think it works that way. Now, can I do something? The other thing that we've looped here, X4, this here. Can I just go move that in here? I can. Can I? Oh yes! Look at it. It works. Can I rename it even? Walks v7a looped. This is good. This is very, very good. And one day we'll get the export working as well. Oh, I need to do the alignment as well, don't I? I totally forgot that. Like, I think the shoulders themselves are okay. I like the sort of hunched look. I think the only thing I want to do is make sure the arms don't intersect with the sides, and I think I want to lower his head a little bit. But that's a global adjustment. And that is what iClone is just so good at. Is there any thumb issues here? Yeah, thumbs have issues as well. Interesting. They don't always do, but I think in this case they do that. Thumb can just live here. Yeah, thumbs walked out. And then just emphasizing that that hunched look a little bit. Also, that means I don't have to worry about his ponytail here. Oh, buddy, no, don't do that. Yeah, you mean that? No. Ah, right. I have to go and copy this. So for the next clip then, we need to do that global adjustment earlier. For the motion layer here. Does Alt work? No, does it? Of course it doesn't. What? Of course it doesn't. This guy needs to, can we just go forward here and then copy, and just before the loop ends we go paste you in here. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, also a nice idea, Brian. I think this works okay. Ideally, we should also give him facial expressions as well. No, this is working. This is working. Good tip, Brian. No, that is a good idea. So save it out, right? Again, walks v7b looped. Replace. This is the thing with 3D. There's always 50 different ways, and you need to sort of know them all, because one day one won't work, and you have to you have to find a different way. This is great. Let's go and export him out here. UE560. What's your name, sir? Sir, it's called Casual M51. Range. I forgot what I was supposed to do now here. Embed textures? I think no, because it goes and picks them up anyway, I think. Or something. I don't recall. So you, my man, are called Casual M, what did I say? 51. Casual M51. Oh, you think? Flexible thinking is important. I can try. I think, could it be that in Unreal Engine there's something not activated? I thought there was. I thought, just let me just check the version. What's it called again? Something about iClone. iClone Character Creator and iClone Auto Setup all in one. Version 2.0, that is the one. That is the one. Link, range, whole scene, please, with character. Nah, it's not having it. Not having it. Casual M51. Casual M51. Skeleton none, because we're going to use your own. And import animations, yes. And boom, baby. I'll try this guy's animation later one more time. I think there might be a way I just deselect the skeleton. Maybe it'll work, but who knows? This is good, this is good. I'm gonna go save this out as a whole project because that's the kind of guy I am. Walks v7b. You don't know. The link is, this is only if you want to use the live link where you hit play here and then record in Unreal Engine, whereas this is a script that gets triggered. So you just, you know, it goes and exports a file, Unreal Engine listens, and I think there's something wrong because it just goes and says there seems to be another file stuck in the queue that Unreal Engine is listening to that hasn't been processed yet. So I think that's probably the issue. I might go and once I've imported the characters, might do that off stream, try a different project with the new version of the plugin and see if that works. I've had this a couple of times only with Unreal Engine 5.7. I think 5.6 last time I tried it was working, but it's also the first time I'm trying this all-in-one version. They used to have two different plugins. One was the auto setup and the other one was the lifelink one, and now they've combined them into one, and of course it doesn't work anymore, and it's one of those things. It's sort of, you know, I don't even blame them. It's just there's so much mess in this whole trying to make it work. It's really something you got to applaud Reallusion for, that they go out of their way to make something work that really wasn't ever supposed to work. How about here, casual M54? Maybe we'll try him. Like a young hipster here with the red shoes. Let's say he's going to be the next candidate. Yes, the 0.0, they tend to do that, right? 0.0 loops, that's not it. This here. So this one, it might be C. Let's see how you go here. This should be much faster now that we've worked out how to do it all. He looks like the hipster who would walk like that too. And also, when we have longer loops, we can go and make him walk faster. That's a neat thing. I can apply that in Unreal Engine if I want to. Now this one we have to quickly remember. This was the left foot, wasn't it? So line left hand. I like it. Left foot. Wow, this almost works. Well, I was going to say almost works without blending. Of course, it doesn't work without blending, but you know, it works. That is neat. Also, Jay, remember, don't just bolt these things on. Make sure you fix the animation here first. Or no, I have to do the keyframe thing anyway, like I did last time, didn't I? That's fine. I will go and do that. Align left, no, not left hand, sorry. What does left hand do? How does that look? I accidentally said left hand. And now the feet pop. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Left foot. That is pretty cool, isn't it? I gotta say, that is very cool. Line left foot. He needs a few more loops here because it's a short clip. I could literally just do 3 or 4, like you said, Brian, save it out and then just do 2 more. It's another possibility. There's just so many ways. So many ways. Maybe we'll do one more and then we're done with hipster guy. Yeah, so in the new version of Rokoko Studio, they have this built in that you go and on the timeline you just mark a bit and you say in out and then it goes and sort of pops and then you say blend and then it's a perfect loop. And it even has something that strips out, that corrects the forward axis. Yeah, then of course, extra credit, you go and sell these things on the Unreal Engine marketplace for 30 bucks or something. Sticky toes, yeah, let's hope it fixes the blending, fixes that. He might be, Nancy, he might be. We don't know. He could well be. I'm just glad that this works, you know, in principle. It's just so cool, I gotta say, this is just... And now... I think just once again, shoulders and thumbs. Thumbs are screwed. We don't know why. They just are. It's not actually... It's not actually enough on this shoulder here. There, and then we do a little thumbtastic alignment here. Chiropractor should also have a look at his thumbs while he's here. I may also just bend his hand just a little bit. Let's see if this is good. Akin, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to 3D Shenanigans. Ah, yes, and now we need to go and duplicate those to the rest of this. Just after the blend. On second thought, the hand bending might not have been ideal here, but I think it's fine for a passerby. I think it might be might just add to his walk. And one more. Oh, we haven't even blended this. Blend this way, blend that way. Put thingy here, and that should be good. Yes, he does look a bit high. Also, I think my suit was a little out of alignment. So there is something else we can try just as a test here. to smooth the movement a little bit. There is a way, it's something called the Butterworth filter in iClone, but I've never tried it out. I don't know where it is, but it's something that might help us out to just smooth his movement out a little bit. Again, the new Rokoko Studio has something like that as well built in, but it's sort of not released. Or the version that is released isn't really something you can really use. Itanshi over on Twitch, how you doing? Wonderful to see you. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I watched 2 chats. They don't seem to be connected today. It's one of those things. Good to see you. With the shrimp icon, I like that. This is very good to see you. Let me go and save this out, and then we can see if we can import the looped animation and then try the Butterworth filter on it, just out of curiosity. Have you looked into that, Brian? Did you know about the Butterworth filter? Yeah, so then we do that, and we do this, and then I think we sort of do that. And this is walks v7c looped. Made a ever so slightly small spelling mistake here. See if we can rename that. Walks. Brian has been summoned. What would I do without Brian? I have no idea. Butterworth. I don't even know if I can find it again, so don't hold your breath. This might be one of those things that we're not even going to find anymore. Walks v7c. It's basically an improvement on the smoothing. That is what it is. It's an improvement on the smoothing. Let me just go and export my man out here. 60 range. What's your name, sir? Casual 54. We have a lot of 54s here. We've had casual F54, also misspelled. My goodness. Casual M54. Casual M54. A Butterworth filter, check it out, flattens the frequency response in the passband. That is what that is. I just thought the name is cool. I've recently discovered what we both have. There's a restaurant close by. We hardly ever go out to restaurants, but if we do go to this one place that's called Fogo de Chao. And that's amazing. It's like a Brazilian place, and they bring you the meat to the table and stuff. It's very, very cool. And they have these welcome mints on reception, and they're these so-called butter mints. And I didn't know that they actually did contain cream and butter, but now I understand why I like them so much. So yeah. So we recently discovered just how amazing butter mints are. Casual M54. Import M54. They do, don't they? First time I was there was actually a place called Rodizio in Hamburg. That was in the 90s, and I'd never seen anything like it, and that was incredible. I'm just glad that spirit is still alive. And you get these little place cards where you just pay. There's a massive salad bar, and you just tell them, come until I tell you not to come. And every 5 minutes somebody comes around. Would you like I don't know, rump steak, or would you like chicken cutlets, or would you like lamb cutlets, and anything and everything they just bring to your table, and you can literally eat until you're in absolute agony. That's psychological. Knowing that is what made the Golden Corral so big in Texas back in the day. I'm gonna go and maybe just make a new project for this Butterworth thing. Bring him again here. Or maybe his friend, Casual M55. Let's do that. caipirinha. Oh yes, I do like caipirinha with cachaça, right? With lime and mint and brown sugar. It's amazing. That's what back in the days when I used to drink alcohol. So I don't anymore. But nowadays they do a really good caipirinha mocktail as well. My mother has discovered that, and we both fell in love with it. It came as a set, 2 little glasses and a bottle of cachaça and a wooden stick with which you could scrunch up the mint with the brown sugar and the limes in the glass. That's very, very cool. And yeah, that's what got us. My God, that also goes back to the 90s. My whole life goes back to the 90s. What's going on? So let's go apply this thing to him. It got you through college. I love it. That is so cool. See, let's put that on here. So now this is a full animation clip. And because of the character, we could now make other improvements to that. I suppose also what's going on with this is what you meant with the toe snapping, right? This is actually, you know, this is something that I could have done in Rokoko Studio. So this here is very similar to what iClone does, and we're gonna just leave it in there because I don't want to fix this now. But Rokoko Studio does something similar than what iClone does. So after the recording, it adds these footlocks here, the green and blue ones for red and for left and right. And what you're meant to do is go in, and of course I don't have there we go, shift here, is it? Absolutely, it's marvelous stuff. And what you're supposed to do here is, if the automation hasn't worked, you can go and play with this here and make the footlock shorter or longer, or even take it off completely. But this is what makes the feet lock into place, basically. And automation works pretty well, but of course it gets it wrong every once in a while. So yeah, this is basically what was caused by that. And we're gonna just live with that and not dwell on it, unless maybe the Butterworth filter can help us out. So Butterworth, where are you hiding, buddy? Was it? It wasn't flatten. It wasn't sample. It wasn't root. It wasn't align. It wasn't speed. It wasn't remove. It wasn't import. It was rename. It was change color. It was transition curve. Time warp transition curve, maybe. Animation layer. No. Direction control. Something like that. I know. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And if they didn't apply that, and iClone has a similar thing that you can import an animation with a little bit of foot sliding, and iClone can apply something that locks these feet in place as well. Again, I never really understood it properly, nor how to actually adjust it. I think that's my main problem, that I just don't know what to push where to adjust it. This Sam on the Rokoko channel always says that, oh, you just go in and quickly do it, and then he never actually shows what you need to look at. It's one of those things. It's a shame. One day I'll find out. But that's not what we're looking for. It could be under animation. Could be script, render, view, window, plugins, modify. Smooth mesh. No, that's not it. That's the mesh. Let's try to bring up that curve editor again. I think it might be hiding in here. Transformation layer constraint reach. It's got to be transformation. But I don't see any curves. Horizontal and vertical frame. That's the auto alignment thing to put the curves in here. I just don't see the curves. We don't want to see scale. We just want to do position and rotation, probably. That's a wee little filter. That does, what does that do? Nothing, maybe? Path offset. Where are all the other keyframes? There's got to be a way for me to select. Curve editor, that is, and there it is, curve editor. Ah, ha, ha, perfect. FK transformation, IK effectors. I think it's the FK bits and pieces. And it's probably everything. No, see, it doesn't display anything. No curves at all. What's this? Slide key? No. What is that? Move key. Zero sense. Absolutely no sense at all. Maybe also get the layer menu up, perhaps? Maybe? And then select the layer from that. The layer, you can't actually layer keys, but you don't actually get the... It's just, it makes no sense at all. Filter menu. I need to select keyframes before that can work. So currently I don't see anything. And therein basically endeth the test. Yeah, iClone is a little secretive about letting us even look at keyframes. It might have to do something with having to unbake this or whatnot first. Or do I need to double click in it or something? They don't make it clear at all. On one hand, I like not having to look at the 40,000 keyframes in this, but at the same time, now that you actually have to select them, there's no way you can do it. So because those are technically all the things here. Select all, but there's nothing in here. There's no keyframes. Yeah. I guess we'll just leave it as it is, shall we? Because there's literally no way on Earth I'll be able to ever work this out. Which is also fine. See if we pick another character, do another animation. That's the only thing I can really do. I've only heard about this in a video that was all, you know, sizzly. Like they are. Maybe we need to have a woman next. Maybe her here. That could be good. Casual F19. F54. She's already riding a bike. Let's see if she can be our new animation candidate. Yeah, because in Cascadeur, if you want to do something like this, there is a way that you can take an animation from, say, Rokoko or from a motion capture thing that has a keyframe on every frame for every joint, like one of those things you can't really deal with normally. It allows you to unbake them and reduce them down to the bare minimum keyframes, and then it becomes much easier to animate that. I'm sure iClone has an option like that. But where? Who knows? Is that a good ladylike walk? I feel like this is not a ladylike walk. Let's not use D on her. Let's use maybe E on her. Let's try that. Sample motion clip to new layer. Ah, okay. We're totally going to try that. That's also not very ladylike, is it? Maybe for the ladies, I need to use different clips, because this isn't working for neither D nor E is working for her, I feel. So let's just use a different character. Maybe him here. Oh no, he's the same guy that we already had in a suit. No, let's not have him. Maybe him here. Yes. What's your name? M17. Good to meet you, M17. see how D works out for you here. Yes, that's a good walk for him, isn't it? I think that's a great walk for him. This was another one with the left foot, wasn't it? Left foot, yes, yes. Thanks, Brian. I'll have a look at that when we've dealt with him here, and then maybe we'll get to see some butterworthing after all. It works! I'm just so excited about that. Align left foot. Her knees might hurt, yes. It's not a very ladylike walk at all. There, maybe this is enough, and then I can go and do this. If I need more, I can always loop the thing that comes out of this. It is sort of cool that in principle you can just go and put on one of those suits, and next thing you know, it's your walk in Unreal Engine. It's just, it is sort of slightly frightening, isn't it? What technology makes possible. Okay, the obligatory shoulder and thumb fixing will now commence. I'm glad the other fingers are not crooked. I've had it with streaming. If you stream directly from Rokoko Studio into iClone, it's a nightmare, because you do a calibration in Rokoko Studio, and that sets up their skeleton. But then you're supposed to do another calibration that sets up the incoming skeleton to this character, and that always goes wrong. So if you stream, the results are terrible, which is sad. So that means there's a lot of stuff that isn't happening, that can't happen. Okay, that's might be good here. Yeah, nice. Now we'll go and use that keyframe again. Put it on the other positions. Yes. Nicely done. Cool. Save that out as a loop. Walks v7d looped. And as a project as well, just in case. And let me go and remove everything that's on the timeline and reapply the motion. And let's try out this Butterworth filter. I'll do what you said, Brian, and see if I can work that out. It might benefit this character as well here. So you're saying right click on the clip and then sample motion clip to new layer. All parts optimized, or per frame, or select parts. Oh, let's do optimized, shall we? That's gonna do some keyframe reduction already. So I'm a little bit scared now. Honestly, these are all my 40 trillion keyframes now. That's sort of good. And they're all on the motion layer. So logic dictates, I suppose, that I go and right click this and say, curve editor. And here's lots of stuff. We don't want to see scale, I don't think. But maybe rotation and what's it? Can we not use select all? I thought it was a select all. There we go. Yes. All right. Beautiful. Oh no, what happened now? I meant to make this full screen, not collapse it to a thin thing nobody can read. My God. So this here must be my walking direction here. It's not on one axis, so it goes and does other bits and pieces here. If we do everything, Butterworth smoothing, cut off sampling, align to frames. But let's use preview mode so we can see what it would maybe even do. Does it even do anything? It is hard to say, isn't it? Let's just hit apply and see what happens. Did it even do anything? Do we need to put the cutoff frequency higher? Is it still working on it? Yeah, I'm gonna go move this over here. There's no way we can just make a window size up to monitor, right? You can dock it in awkward places. You can just about barely resize it. I'm literally playing pixel bingo here on the other monitor. It's the tragic affair, this. tragic, I tell you. That they make you honestly do it this way. It's insane. I'm nearly there though. It nearly fits. Okay. Was this applied now? I can't tell. Can we play it back? No, we have to go get out of this modal. But now it doesn't actually play back anymore. Oh, there it is, there it is. Is it smoother now? I can't really tell. It could be. I think it might be a bit smoothed. The only way to tell, really, is to have a second guy who walks next to him and is unsmoothed, basically. Oh, it's for the Pro Plus VIP Advanced crowd. Yeah, I get you. It's what do I expect for one-off purchase? No, you're absolutely right, Brian. What was I thinking? So we have F15 number 2, and to him we apply the original animation. And ideally that happens in a slightly different spot, which it does. That's actually pretty cool. So we should be able to tell a difference now. Can we? Or is it exactly the same? I might just drop my monitor down a little bit here, my viewport bits and pieces. Is one guy running smoother than the other? Because I don't see it. I have a suspicion there was no smoothing applied, you know. Well, let's try it again here. I'll go back to this exciting screen here and say select all. And then we say filter Butterworth smoothing, and we just crank it up to something, you know, a bit higher perhaps. Align to frames and apply. Come on. I like that after apply you have to manually close the windows because it just doesn't close itself. You have to say apply then cancel. I'm sure there's a reason for this. Is there any difference at all? Right, because it might do that from one keyframe to another, and if there's too many keyframes, we wouldn't really see the effect because the keyframes, the original ones, are too close together. It's possible. So unsuitable for mocap, basically, is what we're saying. Because I did perform a little bit of a keyframe reduction, but it's pretty much, there is still a keyframe on every frame. So yeah, I can see that would make sense. Okay, another filter we no longer have to worry about because there is no point in having it, basically. Yeah, let's delete these gentlemen and bring in our last animation. Have I actually... I've not actually exported him, have I? Yeah, I thought, you know, one-click improvement if that's in there, but if it isn't, I'm also perfectly fine. Why would the other function be better with this? Because we still have the same keyframe situation, I'm thinking. Would it then not Would it not be the same problem? Range, check. Gentleman's name is M17. Was it casual or business? Business. Business M17. M17. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I think this is where Cascadeur has this interesting idea that you can, if you apply something like this animation with a keyframe on every frame, it can go and unbake it, they call it, and then it makes these larger distances between keyframes. So it looks and has a look at what are the curves and extrapolates them. It sort of reduces the complexity of the motion a little bit, but then these things are possible, like adding physics, which you would do in these gaps. So yeah, because I could have sworn they said Reallusion was saying that this is for mocap and it's really, really good for mocap, and you go, how do you use M17? Now they can tap dance. Exactly, Nancy. Okay, one last animation to do while this is doing its thing here. First we need a new character. Might treat myself to a brand new project as well. Since we deduced they're not ladylike animations here, we can try elderly gent with yellow shirt here. Casual M49. Yes, you sir. You sir are going to be our test subject. So that would be E now, right? E. Yeah, perfect. Do you know the back? I swear this looks like cloth animation. I mean, it isn't, but it almost looks like it. Very good, sir. Oh, do I have to do a line first before I add an animation? I don't actually know. We will find out. I may have to do that. This was on the right foot. Oh, I think maybe this isn't... The loop isn't great. Let's... One thing at a time. If I do a line right foot here as well... Oh yeah, okay, so I can do that. That's neat. Line right foot. Yeah, this I'm wondering if we should have shortened the animation a little bit. I'll see if blending can work with this. Maybe longer blending. Oh wow, really? Looks like I don't need to do anything about the animation after all. There's a slight hesitation mark there, so I could always go and move this in a little bit, a few frames. That might work a little better. Oh wow, I didn't have... That is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, just go in a tiny bit. Oh, wow, come on, that is really good. And even without bidirectional blending? Oh no, I see, that... We'd need longer blending for that because there's a little bit of popping here. But that, oh, that is good. I think this is really what makes me sometimes so frustrated about Reallusion apps, that they're both amazing and total trash at the same time, and my brain just can't comprehend that. You know, it's just, if you're really good at something and not so good at other things, that would be forgivable. But if it's really good as well as really bad at the same time, that is just what I don't get. It's weird, isn't it? And also this where my man is looking is just amazing. I think I might make a variation of this. Then after this, I'll add a couple of, or 2 or 3 of these in a sort of longer sequence, and then I can go and animate his head, that he just looks and keeps looking around because he's sort of excited about what's up there. Or I might just go and animate that into this. Or maybe I won't. I'll leave the hand animation for the next part then. That might be good marketing. Applications that are both good and bad at the same time. He's so laid back, he's horizontal. What's cool about doing it like this is that if I had to dial in a pose like this from scratch, I would never do it that way, or I probably couldn't. But now I can be absolutely sure the center of mass is perfect because it was my body that was in that position. It's cool, isn't it? Amazon. This is technically a loop already. Walks V7E1, I'll call it. And then we'll have an E2, which is then that plus improvements. Delete all that. That goes onto him. Looks exactly the same, but now I can go and first of all apply that to him again. Oh no. No, dude, don't do that. What? No. No, buddy. Honestly. Align with left foot. Do blending. We might not even have to worry about his thumbs. Or maybe we will. Being the perfectionists we are. You know, it's a professional organization. So I'll need that keyframe again. Put that here. There it is. So that's the arm sorted. And then don't we also have a... I could imagine, I could have sworn, wasn't there a window even that says animation layers? Animation layer, that's the one. That's the one. Yes, animation layers. All right, perfect. Because now we can, on a different layer, now that this is all animated here, let's go make another layer and we'll call that head movement. Because then we can sort of, whoops, that was, we'll start here. We leave it here, set a key, maybe just for that body part, set a key, go move forward, turn the other way, because things are exciting everywhere. And we set another key here, and then we duplicate the key that we had here. And then everything goes back to normal. So now my man is totally moving around thinking, hey, there's just so many cool things literally everywhere. And he goes back. This is great. And then I think here I forgot to say align with left foot. Turns out I did do that and it didn't, oh, because, oh, no, it's because of this here. It's because of that. Perfect. And here I might do the same thing. Set the key and let him just look into a different direction. Maybe now he's thinking, what, I'm not allowed to use one of these joints here? That's so mean. And then we go and copy this. Okay. Yeah, this whole having to select the collect clip thing, that's a tiny bit annoying. You'd imagine there's an easier way to do that, but of course there isn't. It remains a challenge. Walks V7E2. Ha ha ha. A headset is a good idea. Yeah, maybe we can do this. And now we want to export him out as well. 60 frames, range. What's your name again, sir? Sir is called Casual M49. Okay, good stuff. Oh, that's why. Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense, Brian. Thank you. Thank you for paying attention. I was just testing you. No, I wasn't quite like that. Good point. Good point. Yes, this is another feature I really enjoy about iClone. Animation layers built in, very, very easy. Also, sometimes it doesn't feel like real animating because you're not exposed to thousands of keyframes all the time. It's very, you only get to see the snippets of stuff you've been touching. And that's nice. That's nice because animations can get complex really fast. M17. Okay, cool. So next guy, Casual. Did anyone pay attention? What was his name again? 49. Good stuff. casual M49. Let's import that here. 49. And I think the last thing I want to do today is just try to import the animation on a mesh that we already have. That would come in handy if, like in this dialogue here, this is going to be a new skeleton with a new character. That's perfect. But there is a way to just import the animation from the FBX and it won't then import a new mesh. And there is a way to do this, I just don't remember how. So now I'm going to try that out. I don't think we'll be able to put all these guys into the scene, but I think we're going to do that next time. So it's really, this was a big learning curve for me. So thank you, Brian, for assisting me through this, through all the tantrums, temper tantrums. That would make sense, but if I do that, when I tried that earlier, it brought in the whole character again, and I couldn't select animations. That was the issue. But maybe I've done something wrong. I selected the skeleton, didn't I? I uncheck mesh, but I need to tell it which skeleton this animation is for. Oh, did I? Ah, okay. Well, that would explain it then. Let's try that out. And meanwhile, while this is doing that, I like to try something. And again, it's about the smoothing and Butterworth dip dops and stuff. Let's try what happens if I import one of my animations into Cascadeur and try this with the animation unbaking. Oh, did I? That sounds like something I would do, and then complain why it doesn't work. That's exactly the kind of thing I would do, yes. It's always good to have multiple programs that you can work with while other programs are busy doing stuff. Very important. Why, man, why? I would think import FBX is good, and then you say it's actually an animation, which is awesome, and you actually add a new one. Then it's a really cool program, I have to say. It's really neat. I forgot the guy who had the walk that was. There was a pop walk C. Let's see if we can have. Oh, but I don't remember what character that was. And there's an 1 second caller. Walk C. We haven't saved this yet, so we'll call that one Walks V7E. And then we'll get him in here. This was the guy who had the body popping. And you, sir, you were M54. M54. That's this. Let's see how it goes. It's a long animation. I don't know if Cascadeur can do that. It's really nice. I mean, some of the features that they have. Yes, enter rig mode. Good idea. Do that. Some of the features that they have are just incredible. And this, what you're gonna totally love, Brian, is giving it 2 poses and then setting the interpolation to AI, and then it goes and walks or runs or jumps or whatever. It's very cool. Launch it. Character could not be fully recognized, which is sad because you guys say you can recognize iClone characters, but perhaps not modified actor core people. Generate rig, yes. Was that on the Royal Skies channel? I was there as well, actually. I saw that too. Yes, that was the one. Yes, that was quite nice. It was nice to see to see Max in a live demo. Oh, it doesn't work at all. Okay, that's basically that then. Yeah, so it doesn't work at all. It works with full characters like Kevin and Camilla. They can work like this. I might as well show you actually this feature I'm so excited about. I'll just show you with one of these characters here. Isn't there? There should be something like the Cassie model. Can't I bring that in? Oh, here, there we go. Just with Cassie. So normal characters totally work. But yeah, what I find incredible is this thing, and I'll talk a little bit about Cascadeur. You have to move the playhead somewhere, then press F, and that sets a keyframe, and then you pick something that moves the character, but you have to go and pick the correct thing. If you don't know what that is, then they're not really going to tell you. So this is like all the poses. I'm currently in auto posing mode. I just do this. And then when you move this, there's literally just a popping between two frames. So maybe I'll move it a little forward here. And then I think you can say right click. Oh, let me do that here so you can see that. Interpolation type, AI. And then it will calculate whatever's supposed to go between these things. And by default, I think it goes and takes a walk, which of course doesn't work right now because it's the demo project, isn't it? And maybe you have to select all of these. Interpolation AI, is that what you do? It's thinking about it. And there, so now it's calculated that, and it goes and walks. That is pretty insanely neat. And depending on the speed of how many keyframes that were, it goes and makes your character walk slowly or run. In the future, there'll be an option to say how you want this to happen. Do you want it to crawl on the ground or walk or run or whatnot? So you can be a bit more granular about that. I don't think this is implemented yet, but that's what they're working on. And once you have that, you could then say in the middle here, you could give it one more keyframe like this and say F, whoops, give it the keyframe first and then move it forward. It totally doesn't want to do it. F, there it is. And now, do you not want to move it up? Oops, still thinking about it. Sorry. So it's live calculated that since you want the character to be on the ground here and there, but in the middle here, it reckons it's going to be a jump, and it makes that happen. So that is, this feature alone is absolutely insane. Add it to your Christmas list, yes. I mean, the good thing is the free version can do it all. So the free version is basically the full version. The only limitation is that you can't export as FBX. So the free version can do everything except for a couple of really exotic pro features. You don't need to worry about that. And it can't export. So the free version can't export. But with the indie license, you can export. But all the files you make with the free version will be available in the paid version if you have it, if you decide to buy it. Yes, that's pretty cool. Another neat thing, if I just leave this alone and just go into another scene here and pick Cassie again, although it does work with all these other characters, it's got this thing that iClone has, with the thing that we bought here, what's it called, the AccuPose. It basically has that built in. So all these green dots, they're basically like the AccuPose controllers, and it auto poses your character if you want that. You don't have to use that, but it's one of those things you can use. And you can see it adjusts the character as you go and click these bits and pieces. What's confusing is that what used to be dark green is now blue, and blue means it's now being controlled, or it's now fixed. So it assumes since you've moved it, this point isn't supposed to move anymore. So like if I try to rotate the character, or maybe just rotate it like this, it would leave this here, but anything that isn't blue, it goes and moves. So anything that is green, it goes and auto poses. This really, it's amazing to pose characters like that. I just never understand how you unselect the blue stuff. I don't know how to do that. But you can also go into these other modes. So auto posing mode is one mode. You can also go into, I think, this here. That's the points controllers. So those are basically IK controllers. They are not auto posing. They're now IK controllers. And it allows you to move and bend the character. You can double click and then it goes and moves everything underneath that. I've totally screwed up the hand now. Sorry about that. The local axis is also possible. So point controllers, they're basically like your regular IK controller. But auto posing is a different mode, and I think it's difficult to understand that. I don't think they made that all that clear because they have other modes too. So point controller, they also have the box controllers, which are technically sort of FK controllers. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, as you can see here. But these are different controllers. All of these things, that sort of a different way of posing your character. And then you have the bones, and then you have the mesh, which is important for collision, which this thing can also calculate. And then you have the actual collision spheres, which of course this thing can also calculate. So that's why this is very, very complex. Yes, and with AccuPose you also have this thing that you can say, well, behave like a cartoon character or behave like an action figure. So they have these different data sets. I think these guys only have the one data set, and you can switch between them. So you can go back, you can tweak one thing and then go back into this. Yeah, like this. If you go to here now, set the keyframe here. Can I copy a keyframe? There's a way to basically mirror what you've done and then let AI interpolate, and you have a walk cycle with literally 2 keyframes. You just say, one is this way, 10 frames later it's like that, and then you just go make it walk, and it works. And then the other thing that you can do here is enhance existing animations with things like autophysics. So autophysics is this thing, if we had an animation, sadly we don't, but if we did, you can go, maybe I'll try one. I'll try to do this. I don't hold me accountable if it doesn't work, but I think if we were to do this with 2 keyframes here, one's here, one's there, 10 frames apart. And in the first one, I'll do this. And in the second one, I'll do that with the other one. There's a way to make sure the character doesn't rotate as well, but I'm not gonna bother here. And then can I just copy this, copy, and then go to frame 20 and paste? Is that something that's, of course, not quite possible here, I'd imagine. You'd think Control-C and Control-V would be that, but that is not the case. Does that work, Control-V? Not at all. Why does it not work? Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Oh, I know. There's another way to... Can we do Alt and that? Does that work? There was a way to do this. Copy a keyframe. I don't remember how. I don't remember how. Let's hope this works. AI. Thinking about it. Yes, and now literally the best way to demonstrate this would be to to have this copied. Why doesn't this work? I don't understand. Maybe it's a paste into interval. Does that work? No, that doesn't work either. Anyway, autophysics, was it this? No, that's not it. It's this one here, autophysics. So the green thing calculates physics of that figure, and the, whoops, I'm going to make this just 10 frames long. And of course we can't really see it now, but if we had something where the character's jumping, this would adjust. This was basically add foreshortening and follow through and all these good things. It would add that here, and then you can bake that back to the timeline. So quite nice. You can tell this thing how heavy is my character, or how heavy is the attached prop that you're wielding, and then you get these exaggerated motions. And sadly I can't show you because I don't really know how to animate this thing, but that's the plan. So you know, it's very cool, and I have tried this with Reallusion characters and it totally works. So get a character, apply an animation, import them into here, use autophysics to make the motion better, and it looks pretty cool. And also how you can make animations from basically just blocked out poses. That's pretty funky. So I must spend more time with this. So yeah. Sadly, this didn't work here. This guy's animation didn't quite work. I wanted to get this. Maybe we can try this with the Kevin character, because I know that worked. While we're at it, you know, while we're in the Cascadeur mood. Where's the character? Oh, it's in template. Template, and perhaps in item. And we have actor, and we have character, and we have closed. Kevin. Let's do Kevin. Kevin can do it. He has a cat head. Yes, Cassie, because it's their sort of default mannequin, I guess. Now there was a way to export my man. That was something I never really used. I think it was Cinema 4D. And we'll use the T-pose. I'll just put him into my folder here. I'll call it Kevin CC4 because that's technically what he is. I think that's the one. Cinema 4D. I don't actually recall. I do remember it worked really well. And they have that on their documentation, but of course I've totally forgotten. As you do, when you don't make notes immediately, you just forget. What I was forgotten is to bring an animation in that we were supposed to work with here. That wasn't the one. Was it this one here? Yeah, this one here. Oh, actually, this isn't one. Let's give him one where he's like from the something faster, because I don't think we're gonna see the loops folder. Those were my larger ones. Yeah, let me try. Okay, let me try that. Let me try him here. Yeah, see how animation and baking works in this. Let me go and export you again. I think it was it Cinema 4D? Or is it 3ds Max? I think it might have been Max. May have been Max. Let me try Max. Max. We might as well try to break it, yes. And you never know, maybe something good comes out. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, I remember using Camilla for this, and then had her side by side. One she was sort of dancing, and one that exaggerated the motion. Yeah, let's see how it comes in. Yeah, we might as well try to break it while we're here, right? Have you tried the video mocap here in iClone? I haven't. It's one of those things I gotta remember to take off things they smuggle into the toolbar after an update. They always like having more icons on the screen than anyone wants. So yeah, video mocap and here motion planning, that needs to go as well. Let me go and close this down, don't save, and make a new one. Oh, works well, does it? Nice one. Import. Import, I think add a model. Is that what we do first? I think so. Add a model. And then we add an animation. I think that's how we do it. Kevin, let's say Kevin Max here. Oh, does it? I didn't know that. Oh, video mocap isn't a local thing. Oh, I see, I see. Right. Oh, I didn't realize that either. I would have literally said it's a, you know, why would you do that? That's terrible. He should be in a T-pose right now. Yeah, no. This isn't. This is no. This is not what happens. What usually happens is, hey, I've recognized the CC character. Awesome. There's nothing else to do. Everything is cool, and it already doesn't do that. So let's not do that. That's already totally the wrong. Totally wrong. Has it crashed? Yes, alright, woo! Let me go and close all my other scenes down here. No, don't save it. Don't save it. Don't save that either. But it's also, I've forgotten how to actually export the character from iClone. Do I maybe have something still here that is sort of cool? No. No, I do not. Add model. Add new. Import. Kevin. I'll try the earlier version. That was with... not with Max, with the other thing that I never use. It wouldn't be 3D without a crash. You're right, yes. Yes, they have a documentation. Yeah, there we go. A pose, that's or T pose, that's perfect. Humanoid characters, quick rigging, yes, let's do it. The character has been fully recognized, that's what we want to hear. Add rig elements anyway. And now it knows it's a real illusion character. And oh yeah, the other thing that I found was funny, if you do anything with Genesis characters, it can work with Genesis characters, both Genesis 8 and 9. When you export them, you'd think you go to File, Export, but you only do that for normal apps, not for DAS apps. For DAS, you gotta go to Commands, Export to DAS, because it's such a tragic affair how they have to, what they have to do to the character so that it sort of works on the other end, but it requires a script. I just thought that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. So now that we have him, we can add an animation, I think. Import FBX. Now we say presets, animation, update, I think. It could even be import to selected joints. There was a preset that did work. To selected objects, that was it. To select objects, that's it. Did this Kevin have an animation? It didn't, did it? It didn't have an animation. Hey, let's quickly make that happen. Export. And it wasn't Max, it was Cinema. Cinema was working. Range. Project. I'll call it Pop's animation. Let's see if Cascadeur can fix it. That'd be kind of cool. Not fix as in, you know, make it better, improve, make amazing. I haven't actually gotten acquainted with the correct time yet. I gotta say, for me, it's still whatever the time was on Saturday. It's gonna catch me out tomorrow because I'm back at work tomorrow, and I gotta make sure I show up on time. Okay, good. That was that. Pop's animation. Let's see if that works. Give it a second. Fingers crossed. Hard to say if it's actually working on it or it's... No, it's not working on it. I guess maybe the animation didn't work or was too long. I don't know. What a shame. Maybe we'll try a shorter one. Yes, motion, anything human male, good. Perform, perhaps. Something fast, not slow, guys. Maybe I'll try the incredible advanced auto search here. Shuffle dance, that should work. Yes, maybe not the whole thing, but maybe just a little bit of it. Maybe to here. Export range. Was it Cinema 4D now? I really don't remember. Let's call it K-Dance. Yes, I wonder if that documentation... Have I made a note? I don't think I've made a note on my website. Usually I do that. But I don't think I have in this case. No, I've never written anything about Cascadeur. Which is fine. It's only so many hours in the day, isn't there? .200 frame animation, of course, takes 12 minutes to export. Because that's just how the cookie crumbles. So import animation. Maybe I'll just try just animation. See if it works. Oh, there we go. Shuffle dance from Cascadeur. Those are the things. I'm glad this remembered the directory here. This is what I tried with Camilla. Oh, that was in characters. And then Kevin and K-Dance. It's also 27 meg. Why? We don't know. Does it work? Oh, it's still working on it. Still working on it. Think we have better luck now. Yes, there we go. Look at that. Exciting. So that is work. That's neat. So glad to remember that. So it's on, if you export from here to Cascadeur, you have to do it as FBX and use Cinema 4D. Interesting. So it's just a format I would never have chosen. And I think now you select all of this, maybe? I don't know if you have to select it or not. And then you press this. And then it takes a moment until this thing is completely green. And the colors here tell you how much it's adding. So I think a dark green means it adds a lot of effect, whereas orange means it can't add much effect to it. So it adds sort of extra swing and stuff. But also, there is a way. It could be now, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Do they charge a license fee for FBX? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I think, are we in the wrong mode here? No, that was, the mode was okay. There is a dialog box, physics settings. That's it, physics settings. This is the stuff that AutoPhysics adds, so you can be granular about how much you want it to do here. Separation, compensation. If you want more smooth rotation, you can do that, and it takes a moment to calculate, and then it goes and makes it smoother. That's sort of the thing that we wanted, really, I guess. And only when it's dark green has it made all the adjustments. And if you line these guys up, it'll be, you'll see better what they do. But it's great what it can do to basically sloppy animations. It just goes and makes them better, basically. Oh no, that's something else, Leo. That is a Reallusion specific thing. They don't want it. This happens when you export an FBX that you change, and then to bring it back into the original figure, you need that FBX key. That's Reallusion specific. Yeah, look, his wobbly arms here on the side. If you look at his hands, they're sort of more bent compared to here. So he's got a floppy hand here compared to here. So he's like Mr. Smooth. It's quite neat. And then I think, then what you do? There's something you do. snap to physics, that's it. And then it goes, yes, it's gonna go and be baked into the animation. Takes a second, and then green guy goes away, I think. And then our keyframes are gonna be changed, I think. But yeah, cool stuff. The stuff you can do with it, very, very cool. Worth looking into, because they have some interesting ideas of how animations can be made better. Oh yeah, now I have to switch it off, otherwise it applies it again. So I think he's now still Mr. Smooth and Mr. Floppy Hands. Yeah, so now he's got super floppy arms here. While we're here, one other thing I wanted to try out is the animation unbaking. I don't remember how to do that. Could be a command. Animation scripts. Untwist. Ooh, that's neat. Reverse. Keyframe reduction. Change namespace collision. I don't remember where that was. I don't think I've ever tried that. Timeline, that could be. It's just 60 trillion settings, you know. Kevin McFloppy Hands, that's him. Decrease, add, remove, change, IK, so my god. Mirror tool, tween machine. It's probably here somewhere. Who knows where? Oh, silhouette mode? Nice. I didn't know that. Yes, but I think what I'm missing with all the nice tutorials that they put out and how amazing Cascadeur is and everything, what I'm missing is basic getting started guide. You know, explain to me like I'm 5, how am I going to use the thing that I've just spent money for? That isn't on their website. There's a documentation that is very, you know, it's very technical, not exactly user-friendly. Yeah, like animation unbaking, where is that? It's got to be here somewhere, but I have no idea where. Oh, lifelink, that's something I remember that hearing that's coming. Export to Roblox. Ooh. Yeah, I don't remember where. I don't know where that is. But to export this out, I think you just do export FBX, and then you say animation, that's cool. And export that into my Kevin project here, my Kevin folder. Kev from Cascadeur. Animation exporting takes 2 seconds rather than 12 minutes. Reillusion. And do I do that? Convert external motion, or is it literally import external motion? Answers on a postcard. Let's try import external motion. Kevin from Cascadeur. Could be that. That might also have to be this. I don't really know. This may or may not work. It has, of course, not worked. Or has it? No, it has worked. Normal animation, followed by floppy animation. Oh no, that's not right, is it? that wasn't right. Let me try the other one. Let me try convert external motion. Drag and drop, yeah. It's not my style. I like a menu. I like a menu. Yeah, that didn't work. So whichever, let me try dragging. So whichever way worked well last time, That probably was dragging. Buddy, paste, enter, show directory, right? No? Why doesn't it just recognize this as a path? There we go. It works. As in characters, Kevin. I'm dragging this onto the guy. I think dragging is cool because you don't know what menu this now was. Motion folder. I don't know what you want from me. Keep motion alignment. I don't know what you want from me either. Maybe we need to. We might have to just go and do that. And then do this. Maybe it's confusing that there's a thing on the timeline. Is this what we saw in Cascadeur? I can't remember. Because I don't think it was. It clearly was not. So hey, who knows? There once was a way that it worked, but of course, as long as if you're not on the Pro VIP Plus prepay advanced plan, it doesn't always work. Yes. Okay, the last thing I want to try today, now that all of these guys have been imported and thrown smoothing group things, let's go to the guy that was M04. Where are you, buddy? Business M4. I'll just go in the motion folder. There's another motion folder in the motion folder. Let's go into here. Oh, does this work? Maybe we already have it. Like you, if we add you here, do you have that looped animation? Oh, you have all the animations. That's interesting. Yeah, you have got that super long looped animation. Yeah, you we don't want to see anymore. So we have his long animation. That's nice. So we don't have to import it again anymore. But I would like to test how I can make that happen. So let me go try that again. Maybe into this. Maybe I'm gonna make a test folder here. In case anything goes wrong, it doesn't clutter up something that is looking okay. So this guy here, and this is the walk loop, so I'm going to select that. Ah, do you know, maybe that was already something I could have ticked off because I don't need this to do its thing. So I just deselect skeletal mesh, right? Brian, is that what you're saying? I think. But then it doesn't know which skeleton I'm using. Because I remember it's mesh. You do that. You deselect import mesh. Skeletal mesh you leave, but then you pick the skeleton of the guy you want to use this animation on. I think that's how you do it. I think. Because mesh, skeletal mesh, they're of course different. Everyone's going, why? Why? Only 30,000 animation keys to go. Unreal Engine reduces these on import, by the way, which is quite nice, so you don't end up with 60,000 keys. It's funny how Unreal Engine can do things with skeletal meshes it can't do with static meshes. For example, morph targets, they can only be done on skeletal meshes, even though quite clearly you can have a shape key on a static mesh that isn't rigged, but not in Unreal Engine. It doesn't recognize that. It's bizarre. It needs to, if you wanted to have a morph target on something as simple as a cube, you must import it as a skeletal mesh or convert it into a skeletal mesh. I'm sure there's perfectly obvious reasons for it that you and I don't understand. Why would we? Yeah, it's weird. The good thing is, I think nobody understands everything. Everyone understands a little bit, enough to make it work. Okay, what I'm hoping to find is exactly one animation sequence file. Why would we do this twice, I wonder? For 57,000 keyframes? Yeah, the other thing I could have done on import is basically tick off that I want to use the Reallusion importer, because technically I don't. I just want to, this is a strictly just FBX importing thing. This was walk 7. We're also going to do walk 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and we're also going to do some idols over the next 7 years, by the way. If I had the time, I could stream 15 hours a day and I'd be done by the end of the year with this. Everything is possible if you have unlimited amounts of time. Here's my $100,000 question. Do you think he's going to do it a third time just for kicks? So ideally, we're having one animation sequence, nothing else. No, look at that, look at that, look at that. So he's got two. One is just the A pose that we don't need. The second one is that we don't have any, we do have textures and stuff, but that is probably because of the yes, and of course we have a ton of stuff we don't want. Well, I won't hack that off now, but yeah, thanks iClone for totally ruining my day, for A, not actually working. Yeah, textures, and so we don't really need any of that. Glow map, yeah, it could be that that Reallusion did that. Let's try this one more time, just because I'm curious. Test v2 and import walk loop. No, character creator auto. What's it? No. Probably not going to be faster, but so not the mesh, and tell it the skeleton is 04 guy. It'll do it all again. I like that for the T pose, for the resting pose, it has to go through all of this. It can't just stop after frame 1. That's sad, isn't it? Extra sad. Yes, calculating. And that's the last thing we're going to do. Could be 57,000 versions of the T-pause. That is possible. Why do we even need the T-pause? I could just say no, just use the actual animation. Don't worry about the T-pause. But maybe I guess it has to extract something. Okay, why that takes so long? I have no idea. Because also, especially because the sending it over from iClone with the Unreal Live link, that's much faster. So I don't know what it does to circumvent this. Yeah, and the other thing I'm sort of worried about is when you export this out here, why doesn't it recognize the range? Why does it go and export 60,000 frames when clearly we only need 500 or so? Yeah, that's bizarre too. But I'm sure there's reasons for it. 80%, we're nearly done. It could be, yes. Could also be a bug, because I do recall that definitely working. It could just be that with one of the many updates it no longer is working. Also, what I could try is use Character Creator 4, because the cool thing about, well, I really like that about them, that all these newfangled export options for Unreal Engine, they're also part of Character Creator 4. So people who haven't upgraded to 5, it still works fine. I think not on this system though, because I've got an older version of CC4 installed, because I like the viewport better. Before they made all the changes. There's actually two different FBX importers in Unreal Engine. The window that we just saw is the legacy one, and the new one is part of the interchange framework, and it's much more snazzy, and for the longest time it wasn't working with the Reallusion one. So their fix was go into plugins and disable the interchange framework. But it's actually more robust and snazzier on importing, so it probably doesn't have to do this anymore. And I do recall it working much faster. But it's something that wasn't working with the older version of the Exchange plugin there. And now apparently it does. So that's done that. Cool. So by disabling the Reallusion thing, I don't get the additional folders here with the textures and stuff. So it's done that. Perfect. Hey, that satisfied my curiosity. I think I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, guys. I really appreciate that. Also, thanks for, crazy animations like this. Not exactly what it looked like in Cascadeur, so that's another puzzle that we need to figure out. Make sure the process, we're not even doing a process, dude. It's crazy, what's it doing? So I'll be back probably on Saturday with something along the lines of Mass Effect Andromeda, or maybe even more 3D Shenanigans. I don't know. It was fun, wasn't it? Thank you so much for your help, Brian. I really appreciate that. I couldn't have done it without you. And I must make some notes there tomorrow, otherwise I will forget it. Thanks, Nate, and everyone else. Have fun for the rest of your week, and I hope it's going to be a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.